All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Adoptology podcast. Today, here I have my co-host, my mother. Mom, say hi. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
She said, "Hey, what's up?" Y'all didn't hear her in her very loud self. Hi, y'all. Mom, welcome back.
Cruising.
Now cruising for now. Welcome back. Welcome back to the podcast, Mom. And today, our topic is the questions adopted families are afraid to ask. And we're gonna dive deep in it and get you guys some answers that you might have or going to have. And we're gonna help you and guide you to navigate these questions. Mom, are you ready to get into it?
I am ready. I hope so.
Okay, we're gonna start off with our first segment is the hard questions. Okay, Mom, what if an adoptive parent doesn't feel bonded right away with their child? Did you ever feel that with me?
Okay, well, you're just going to hit me hard with the hard question first, huh? Way to go. Okay, so this is the reality, right? This is a total reality. Yes, I do think that it's a reality that sometimes adopted parents may not always feel bonded with their adopted child right away, right?
Yeah.
I think when you go into an adoption, whether it's foster care adoption or maybe it's a grandparent adopting a child, you're going to have to give yourself grace and allow time for that to happen. You're going to have to realize that it doesn't happen overnight. So you're going to have to give the child patience. You're going to be patient with yourself because it takes time to build that relationship and to blend that relationship. I don't think it happens overnight. Is there a time frame? No. I mean, could there be some supernatural, like crazy, where you wake up and then one day you feel incredibly bonded and connected? I mean, yes, that could happen. Could it take 2 or 3 years? Yes, it can. I think you can't really put a time frame on it. I do think you need to allow yourself kind of we went into it thinking for us, our time frame, everything for us was the 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. So we waited 3 years before we let you venture too far away from the home, right? We waited 3 years until we did counseling right away, but we waited till 3 years until we did EMDR with you. So for us, it was like a 3 year mark. We just gave that 3 years to develop that bond, to develop that trust. So yeah, I think that could cause some issues or some hurt for parents because you think that bonding should happen immediately, and it doesn't necessarily, right? And so I think you have to really go into this with each of you having the space and grace, knowing that it's going to take time, that it really could take a long time, to be honest. So yeah, that's hard though, because as parents, right, we want that bonding right away. Like immediately, I want to like I'm your mom, you're my son. Oh, this is amazing. So we want that immediately, but it doesn't always happen like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, what's your perspective on that? What are your thoughts?
That is awesome because, like, of course, like there was the mother I knew in Haiti, which is like I'm talking about you in both instances right now. Which is
Yeah.
there was the you I met in Haiti starting the adoption process versus you every single day. And
Mhm.
that took a lot to get used to on that day. Because like that with all of that came with the discipline and all of that I had to because at some point, you know me, every orphan at the beginning is always gonna be thinking, oh, and unfortunately this is the case for a lot of adoptive kids, is like, am I gonna get sent back because I'm not acting right or I did something wrong? You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
had to get over it. Not only if I what really kept us from bonding at that moment was that fact that okay, if I kept messing up, is she gonna send me back?
Mhm.
But I couldn't stop messing up. So I was like completely lost in my head. So I was just like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I can't learn, I can't do this. And then it was like I had to get over myself and stop sabotaging myself so I could let
Mhm.
the bond happen. And I think you and dad really guided me through that and making and welcoming and having a space big enough for me to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because your
Mhm.
kids are stuff is gonna happen, y'all. It's gonna happen. You gotta be able to guide them through it. Even when you don't know how to guide them. I get what you really gotta do is just love. Really is love, be understanding, give discipline when discipline is due. It's gonna be a whole on the whole episode we talk about is discipline.
Yeah.
But like, you just gotta discipline with love. You know what I'm saying? Grow with
Mhm.
love, nurture with
Mhm.
love. And that's what I experienced growing up.
Yeah, I think I mean this is right on, Wilson. I think that as parents, right, as moms, especially as moms, right, we're like, oh, I'm the mom. I want my child to feel that connection, and when that connection isn't there instantly,
Yeah.
like it's hard. It can be hard for a mom. So my advice to you is, if you're in that situation, just keep going. Right, don't give up. Keep going. Allow space. And you will see, give it time, give it a year, give it a couple of years, and you'll see how it'll eventually get bigger and grow and get better, and talk about it. Don't be afraid to talk about it. You have to be able to
Yeah.
be open and have that conversation with your child. And did you ever feel like I didn't get it as a white mom raising a black son?
Actually, I'm gonna be very honest with you.
Go ahead. I can take it.
I'm gonna be
If you put
like,
those scissors down, I can take it.
okay, I'll put it down for now. I'll put
Thanks.
the Sharpie up. As of right
Okay, that's fine.
now, as of like back then, I would say no, because I didn't know how. Because like, keep in mind, I didn't have a mom after the age of 6, and then I spent 4 years navigating. I didn't have an actual mom. You know what I'm saying? So any mom I could get at any point at that time, regardless black or white, Asian, Indian, would have been the role model for me. You know what I'm saying? As a mother, because I didn't
Mhm,
care about my skin color and all of that. I didn't care about because I grew up in orphanage, hanging out with white people all the time. Like it was normal for me. So at that point, the mom figure did not need to be a race thing for me. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even know, because the black identity that I had in Haiti was not the same black identity that I have here in America. That is in America. So it is different. So I would say no, but I know it is completely different for other people, especially the kids who were adopted way older than me, or way younger, or just like, or raised in a predominantly black area, or like black environment, or just, or black in a white, predominantly white environment. You know what I'm saying? So
mhm,
it is like, I guess it's up to the adoptee to answer that question with their parents and all of that, and then find guidance to that. So I would say for me, no, I didn't really know, because I didn't know either. So, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know how somebody, how black kid was. Like on one of the previous podcasts, his dad mentioned like he did not know how to take care of my hair until we went to that black barber shop, and then that's where we
mhm,
learned. So therefore, that's when I learned too. So like I didn't
mhm.
know, so I couldn't say this is how you raise a black son, because I did not know. So like I would
Yeah, I
say
feel
no.
yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
go
like we were
ahead.
pretty open with you about it, right? We were pretty honest with
Yeah.
you and honored your culture and honored that we did look differently and that we would ask people, "Hey, how do you what we need more lotion because he's ashy," or, so I felt like we kinda learned together through that process.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So for you, what if a parent secretly compares their adopted kid to their biological one? Did that ever cross your mind?
Yeah, naturally that's gonna happen, but I think how I looked at it through the lens I looked at it is I had to look at you through the lens of I you weren't placed in our home until you were 10 and a half
Hmm.
actually. And so I had to have some different expectations or some different I don't want to say rules, right? But some different ways I had to deal with things because it's different when your brothers and your brother and sisters, I birthed them so they followed our family rules from day 1, right?
Yeah.
So you coming in, I had to look at you in a different lens, right? So I wouldn't say the word, I mean, yes, compare, but it was just more of, it was like I can't compare you all the time to your siblings because you have a completely different life, right? So let's just be honest. I'm just gonna be honest. You came in with trauma, whereas your siblings, they've gone through a lot of hard stuff too, but their trauma is different than yours. And so so yes, I did compare, but it's like, and a couple of times, your siblings would make comments like, well, how come Wilson gets away with that? Or how come Wilson does that? Well, because I
Yeah.
can't necessarily treat you the same way. I feel like we are now. I feel like now it's
Yeah.
different now that you're older and you've been here 11 years. But especially at the beginning, I had to have some different expectations for you than your siblings.
Yeah. And
And
yeah,
that's
I
just
remember
natural. I
that
mean, that's,
conversation with my brother
yeah, but isn't that just
and my
natural though?
siblings.
Because
Yeah, it
we
is
were
very
teaching
natural.
you things. Yeah, we had to teach you things that I would have taught them when they were 2 years old, that I
Yeah.
was having to teach you at 10. I was homeschooling you at the age of 10 and a half, kindergarten curriculum. Well, we've already been through those stages with them, right? And so, can I embarrass you for a second?
I think you already did, but go
I'm
ahead.
so gonna embarrass you. I'm so embarrass you. But like, I remember when you first came home, right? You loved like My Little Pony.
Here she go. I do love my little pony. What is it, a
Yes, you
brony?
did. Okay, listen, that's the truth, dude. So don't deny it.
I'm
Okay.
not
So
denying.
there are things that you would play with baby toys or dolls, but I let you do that because you had to process that. And the girls would be like, why is he wanting to play with our stuff? Well, he's got to process that. He's got to work through that. So, I mean, yes, there is some comparison, but you kind of have to in order to
Yeah.
work through some things.
Yeah. And that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Wilson, I want to ask you that the question kind of right back to you. Wilson, did you ever feel like we were comparing you, even if we didn't say it out loud?
I don't know. I don't think so, because I feel like at that time I was in my own headspace the whole time. I feel like the first few years in America, I was like in my own little world. Not really. I wasn't really paying attention, being compared. I just felt like, I don't know, because I didn't know at the time. It just felt like, yo, we're being hard. You know what I'm saying? So it
Mhm.
didn't feel like I was being compared. You know, because at that time I
Do you
did
feel
notice. Because at that time I did notice that I was allowed to do other stuff that other kids, that my other siblings weren't. So I was like, Okay, so I don't know what to think of that. You know what I'm saying? So because they would always
Mhm.
complain to me about it. I didn't really know that I was being allowed to do the stuff until they came like, I don't know why you get to do this, you get to do that, you get to do this. I'm like, I don't know either. I was
Some of the stuff you weren't technically allowed to, like, remember the chore sticks that we had? And so apparently you just didn't do yours, I later found out. So some of it, I don't think we necessarily allowed you to, you just kinda did your little Wilson thing and did it.
anything you say in this podcast will have to be directed to my lawyer. I don't have to answer any questions. But
You know what?
anyways,
You can please send your lawyer to me. I would gladly
thank you so
chit
much.
chat with your lawyer, and I've got lots of, videos and all kinds of stories we could pull out if we need it.
Anyways, how
Okay.
did you how do you parent across race without ignoring it or making it weird?
So I think the best way that we parented without making it weird is this: we addressed it head on. Like, we talked about it, we made it known, and sometimes we kind of joked about it. Like, we kind of made fun of, like, when people come up to me and say, "Well, your son," I'll say, "Which one, the black one or the white one?" And people like, "Oh, ha, ha," you know. So I think
Yeah.
we didn't take it too seriously. I guess that's
Yeah.
the word, right? We didn't take ourselves too seriously. We were open and honest about it and just kind of hit it head on. Like, we sat down and we've had some, I remember, there's some political climate stuff happening here in the US. And so we sat down and we watched video footage with you and we asked you how you felt about it. We talked about it and we explained some things to you, because you didn't understand that when you first got to America, right?
Yeah.
Because you were surrounded by you were in a very safe place in Haiti. And so we just have to hit it head on. You can't be afraid to have hard conversations, afraid it's
Yeah.
not going to hurt your feelings, afraid that's not, I mean, if you don't know what to say, that's okay. Just try it. Just
Yeah.
start somewhere, right? Hey, you and I would be happy to facilitate those conversations with kids if needed, or we're
Yeah.
happy to figure out how to address that. But
Oh,
we
yeah, I do
just
that
did.
daily. Yeah.
We just did it, right? We
Yeah.
didn't, there's no right or wrong answer. You can try to be sensitive if you can, but hey, this is what it is. Let's just address it.
That is true.
So that's kind of what we did. All right.
Okay.
All right. Next question. Wilson, what's one thing we did or didn't do that actually helped you feel seen racially or culturally?
I feel like, oh yeah, that's a good question right there. I feel like yes, it's that with the barbershop and learning all those black health hygienes that we have, and you learning how to make Haitian food to the best of your abilities, to the best of her abilities. Twin.
Thank you for saying that.
But like those were the it was the effort put towards all of that yearly and daily that really made me feel seen because you guys knew how much I love being a Haitian and you guys kept up with that and then y'all kept it alive and then it was a great thing to see the effort and it was a good thing to feel and to be heard and to be kept and to keep that part of me alive even though I didn't know how to actually keep it alive. It was great. I really do appreciate that.
And we took you to Haiti too. We wanted to make sure we took
Yeah.
you to Haiti. It's not safe to go currently, but we took you back as often as we could
Oh
afford it
yeah.
financially, which
Yeah.
we took you back as often as we could just because we didn't want you to forget. We didn't want you to forget your roots and forget that stuff. And I remember too when you first came on, I would try to find African American men that I would say, "Hey, here's my son. Talk to him. Hey, reach out to him." Like, I would try to find maybe some of those guys that can mentor you, or older kids that maybe I thought could be a good influence for you, and ask them to reach out to you because I thought maybe they could reach you in a different way that I could. And I had to be secure with that, and I was secure with that. Just the more help I could get you, the better.
Oh yeah. That was really helpful for sure. Cause like that effort, especially with the trips back to Haiti, that was great to see my family and reconnect with them. And it was that you also did them a favor too, because I meant a lot to them. So I remember the first time I came back, I was greeted with this giant like applause and like, oh my god, he's back, Wilson is back. Sanson il est tourné. Oh my
Mm.
god, that's awesome. And then it was a great thing to just feel like, okay, I still got love over here. And it reminded me of my roots. And it was just a great thing. Okay, so this
Yeah.
next question for you, Mom, is love really enough in adoption, or did you realize you needed more?
That's a great question. So you need love and more. You need both, right? I mean, your foundation has to be love because it has to be rooted and grounded in love. But on top of love, you have to have, oh man, you got to have some consistency. You got to have patience. You got to have dedication. You've got to have willpower. Sometimes you have to have a stronger willpower than the adopted child, than the child, because sometimes children have very strong willpower. So
Mm.
you got to have, oh, we should talk about that sometime in a podcast.
Well, I got enough
Oh.
time for it. It's about to be six.
Oh, okay, okay, mhm. Convenient how we run out of time. So, I mean, yeah, I think it has to be rooted in love. I think adoption of any kind needs to be rooted in love, but not just love. Okay, it's got to be rooted in all those other things.
Yeah. That is great. It has to be rooted in love. Because without love, there is nothing. You can't forget. You can't be too logical. You can't be too statistical. You gotta really sometimes everything has to be based off of feeling and build off of that. Build a structure. Because that love
But
should always be what's
yeah,
up?
the foundation.
Yeah, that love
Yeah,
should
but it
yeah,
can't. It's
always
not
be
just
there.
love isn't love is great, but you need more than sometimes just love to carry you through those hard days because there are hard days and hard season and hard times in adoption. So so love the foundation, but that discipline, that commitment, that hard work, that determination, that's what carries you through too.
Yeah, that will do it.
All right, Wilson, here's my question for you. Do you think I ever leaned too much on love is enough? Like did that feel empty sometimes? Do you think I ever leaned on love is enough too much?
No, I wouldn't say that. But if that was the case, I would not have been like, what? You know what I'm saying? Because if I would not have been like put to
You just
school and
outed
those
me out to
tests.
the whole world.
Yeah, she whooped my butt. We talk about it next spec with the discipline stuff. You got to discipline. I was not, but when I tell you I was a crazy kid, we're gonna get to, we're gonna get to that later.
God.
But yeah, like it's just no, cause like you did with those extra miles. Like I mentioned, you guys a short story. I will explain this more on a little podcast. It's like I remember when I got home, you guys put stickers all over the house to explain what things are. Like the fridge, this is the fridge, and they put the fridge and the English word of it, and then the Creole and the French word of it.
Yes.
And then I was looking at these sticky notes all around the house, and my mind was like, "Is this how Americans decorate their house?" And I'm like, "And what is this little squiggly lines on there?" Whole time they didn't know I couldn't read. I couldn't
I had
read in
no
English.
idea.
I couldn't read in Creole or in English. So I was just like, "Okay, this is cute." And then I told them that, and they were like, and they quickly went around the house and took them all down. So that was love. That was the extra stuff she was talking about, the extra thing you got to do. It was hard to do all of that, figure out all those words and put them up. And
Ugh.
then to find out there was no avail, but they did it though. That was love. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to do different things to really connect with your child. And that was the effort that I saw. And I thought that was actually really amazing.
I must have heard that from somebody for me to do that. I guess one of my friends told us or something that they said to do that, so you know what it's
Somebody did.
called. But I had no idea you couldn't read. Oh my
Somebody.
gosh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Oh gosh, that's a true story. Hey, but that's what it's about adapting, right? In adoption, it
Yeah.
comes to we tried that. I was wrong. I was totally wrong. That's okay. We just take them
Let's move
to
on.
peel the sticky notes off and move on. And then we
But
had
yeah.
to start learning how to read.
And that's where we started.
And that's where we started. We started with learning how to read. That's funny.
Okay, mom. What if a parent has regrets about adoption? Does that make them a bad parent?
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
man, this is a tough question, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Whew. I think when I read this question, I think immediately my heart gets really heavy. I feel really heavy because I have helped families and been a part of families that the adoption just didn't work out for one reason or the other, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to put blame on anybody specific. The reality that's the reality of adoption is that sometimes adoptions go really well and sometimes it's just really hard because kids come from hard places. Does that make you a bad parent? No, I think it makes you a human. I
Yeah.
think it makes you a human that has real feelings and real hurt. And you may be in a situation that there's nothing else you can do. I think this is
Mhm.
such a hard place for both the kids and parents to be in, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you adopt a kid, like, listen, I'm just gonna be honest, when we adopted you, I didn't know all the trauma that you've been through. I knew a tiny glimpse of it just because Pierre had told me about I knew that your mom had abandoned you at the orphanage. But beyond that, I didn't know. I didn't know deeper into your trauma until we got into EMDR and then you started remembering some of your trauma, right? And
Yeah.
so sometimes parents don't know what they're getting with their kid, and it may be just so severe their kid may have, and so it's not their fault. And so, no, I don't think it makes you a bad parent. I really don't. On the flip side, I have seen some maybe things I wouldn't do as a parent. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And you have too, right? You've seen it
Oh
too.
yeah.
We have seen some things that other choices that we would have made, but I have to give everybody the benefit of the doubt that they're doing the best that they can in their circumstance, that they're doing the best that they can with what they have. So I think this is honestly a very sensitive question in the adoption world. This could be a pretty hard question, I think, in the adoption world,
But yeah, we're
to
gonna
be
expand on
honest.
it on the later podcast because that is
Yeah,
a
I
good
think so. I
thing
think
to.
we need to explore this a little bit more. And maybe
Yeah.
people can reach out with questions or
Well, yeah,
because it's hard.
yeah. Send us questions you have about that, especially if you have been given up. Because I get people DMing me. I got like 3 messages I think today about why I've been put back into care. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Yeah, and that's hard, right? We can't answer that. They can only answer that question for themselves,
yeah.
right? And what they've done. That's hard. All right, so son, here's a question for you. As an adoptee, do you ever feel like adoption is something you regret?
No, that's the really the shortest answer I have. Cause like I feel like I'm
Okay.
speaking from the point of I didn't have a choice in the matter. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a
You
choice in the
didn't. Yeah.
matter of like of being put up for adoption. At that point, it
Mhm.
was either find a family or spend the rest of my life in an orphanage. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like
Okay, I don't think I ever told you this story. I just remembered something that I don't think I ever told you.
what's up?
I literally just remembered it at this moment. I remember having that freak out feeling when shortly after we started the adoption process, I found out from people at the orphanage that you did have a mom and that she was alive and that she gave you up for adoption. And I remember I kind of started the process a little bit and I remember literally having a freak out moment. I really clearly remember where I was in Haiti having a freak out moment and I said, well, maybe we should just offer to pay for him financially. Maybe we should just offer to give his mom a monthly stipend and he goes back home. And I remember literally like freaking out. And we'd already started the process. We were deep into the paperwork but for some reason it hit me then and I started crying. And then what was told to me was he can't go back home. Your mom already relinquished her rights. You can't go back. So some family has to adopt him. So it's not going to be your family. It's going to be another family. So you might as well just continue the adoption. And I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And that's when I committed to making sure that you at least knew who your Haitian family was because I didn't understand the full depth of why she was giving you up for adoption or why she left you at the orphanage. But the fact is, there's nothing that could be changed. She already relinquished her rights. So someone was going to take you. It might as well be us. I don't think I've ever told you that story, have I?
I had an idea that I'm
Okay.
not. Wow, that is a big news right there. But yeah,
Yes.
that is awesome. So yeah, like I said before, it's like I don't have a choice in the matter, so I can't say I regret anything. I'm glad I'm here. I have glad the opportunity. I love both of my families, and I can't wait to keep growing and learning more. And it's a beautiful thing, and that's really all I have to say about it. And anybody that feels the opposite of this situation of that, please send a DM. Please comment, and we'll get right to you. Okay. But with all that being said, that's really all we have for today's those 10 questions right there. Mom, do you have anything you want to say? Because I'm about to go take a nap.
I mean, I'm just so proud of you and the young man the man you've become, and I'm so glad that we're on this journey together, right? So we can just try to be open. And I just want maybe I like you said, people send us questions or topics we can discuss. We want to help in this journey.
Yes, we do. It's a great thing. Well, yeah, with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. Please send this podcast to somebody who might need to hear it. And goodbye, y'all. Have a great day. Say bye, mama.
Bye.
Bye.